a guy on a scooter real quick.
Okay, sorry, fellas.
The Looney bin is dead, and Shane Lahari killed it.
I shut him down by buying the belt. It just ran out of money afterwards, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, because typically you just got a bracelet.
Right.
Not doubled as a do not resuscitate bracelet.
Yeah, I threw a
But
fit.
you got a do not resuscitate belt.
Cuts off the circulation. Gonna hang myself with it after my set, like a nice tribute.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy Langdon. Frankie Miracle. Kevin Page. Gabe Shively. Felix Johnson, he's working. Goose. Garrett.
Yeah.
Shane. Here. Bennett. Is he here? Anybody seen him?
No.
I'm sure senior services will drop him off soon.
He went to bed.
Eric Von Riger.
Yo.
Eli Graves.
Yeah.
Brandon Wynn. JP. He was here. He's somewhere getting high.
I seen him.
Megan Welch.
Here.
Aaron Hahn.
Here.
Randy Rowley.
Here.
Dan the Man.
Penises.
Katie Getty.
Yo.
Jared Alders. Jeremy Joseph. Not here yet, right?
Yeah, Dan.
Travis Cagle is on the camera. Bam's always late. Steve Peters never shows up on time either. Levi Mabe, a good Christian boy. Mike Baldwin is probably with JP getting high. And me. Okay, so
You know, I've been through this once before with we changed locations, and we did one of these at the old location with all the guys that were regulars back then. And this one has more than twice the amount of people that was in that show. And I think that is my favorite thing about this thing, is that the community has gotten so much bigger. And there's actually quite a few that are really good. There's a couple that, but I mean the rest of them are good.
The farewell show for the local comics here, it's amazing. I'm not really doing a set per se, like doing comedy. I'm part of the in memoriam part of it, which is, you know, something we would be remiss if we didn't mention those that passed along that have shared the stage with us. I'm sure the emotions will pour out then. I don't really know how to feel about it right now.
25 people in one show is ridiculous. But there was, at some point I had to draw a line. And it was a hard thing to do because there's still 15 other people that could have been in this show just as easily as anybody else.
Biggs and I were at the old location, and when it closed down, we had the promise of a new location coming. This time around, it feels so different. The finality of it is just daunting. You know what I mean? Like Biggs and I have been in, like, we knew a lot longer than everybody else. We knew before we made this announcement public. So we've had several moments where it's like on the verge of fighting back a mental breakdown, but we couldn't do it because we didn't want to let everybody else know why we're going through this. You know what I mean?
Excuse me, sir. Who are you here to see tonight?
Travis Cagle.
Who are you here to see tonight? Everybody.
I am having so much fun, and I'm also learning a lot. I've learned so much from these local comics, mostly about marijuana and masturbation. Yeah, I can tell they have some fans here tonight. All right. I'm sure you'll learn something tonight from this group of comics. I think my most memorable time at the Looney Bin was probably my very first open mic. It was right here on this stage. And I got up and was so nervous, but I told a few jokes and I got a few laughs and it felt so good. And then a little bit later in the night, one of the old timers on the Wichita comedy scene, Jeremy Rush, you guys will maybe hear from him a little bit later tonight. He got up here and he sexually harassed me in front of the entire audience. I thought, wow, I am funny and fuckable.
I see a lot of plates, a lot of appetizers out here. I just smashed a plate of nachos. I love these appetizers, you know what I mean? One of my favorite appetizers, probably you asked Sunflower Shirt Lady. I'll tell you my favorite. One of my favorite appetizers is probably cocaine, for sure. It's just a good way to get started, you know what I mean? I'm on that snort my dinner diet, you know what I mean? It's keto, whatever. No, my name is Frank. A lot of y'all, might not know me. A couple things about myself, because this is the last time we'll be able to be up here and say these things. Youngest of my father's kids. I'm the baby. That's why I never shut the fuck up. First of my father's kids to graduate high school and go to college. Thank you. Thank you. First of my father's kids to drop out of college. So.
Another dumb thing that gets said a lot is that comedians are modern-day philosophers. And that's just horseshit. I mean, Aristotle never once talked about his asshole. That's like my bread and butter. They executed Socrates. You got canceled for, using a slur on Twitter. We're not the same. We're not philosophers, we're artists. Anyway, who in here has a fleshlight? Yeah? Fuck yeah, I thought it was just me. For those of you who don't know what a fleshlight is, it looks like a flashlight, right? And it's on the inside, it's hollowed out and coated with textured rubber, and you have sex with it. You make love to it. Now, the inside of a fleshlight is an insertable 11 inches deep. Who the fuck is that back 6 inches for? I mean, if you have an 11-inch penis, you're not fucking a flashlight,
Being a degenerate, I also have a lot of tattoos, and you don't get a lot of tattoos without getting some dumb ones. I have a piece of pizza placed on my thigh. It is stuffed crust, in case you were curious. The funny thing about that is I got it at my bachelor party, but I love pizza way more than I ever loved her. But one time I was leaving Quick Trip, and this bum pushing another bum in a wheelchair. They have a weird access to wheelchairs. I don't know. She goes, "Hey, I like your tattoo." And I have a very recognizable portrait on my calf. It's 5 in the morning. I go, "What?" She goes, "Your calf tattoo." I'm sorry, what? "The werewolf." And I kind of turned around. "Bitch, that's Jesus." And if Jesus was anything, he would be a vampire.
I believe in God, personally. I do. I believe in God. But I think God thinks I'm an asshole because he's not answering my prayers. Most of the time it's because it sounds like I'm threatening him. Start off real normal. "Father God." Then it gets crazy. "Quit playing with a real ass nigga." "I'm looking for the one. You keep sending me girls with septum piercings." Fuck ass nigga. In Jesus' holy and precious name. Amen.
Hi, I'm Katie Getty, local comedian, and I'm stuck doing these segment intros. How does it feel to be part of the last show at the Looney Bin? It's sad. Mostly because I'm not getting paid.
I honest to God hope I don't get up there and cry. It's been an amazing run. I started at the old club, and then I was one of the first people on this exact stage, and I'm going to be one of the last.
It's an honor, the fact that I get to be a part of the show with a lot of really my good friends and some of my heroes.
I've been trying to get this place shut down since the day they let me in the doors.
It's sad, of course, but there are a lot of good memories here.
They say all good things come to an end, and hopefully we'll figure something out and be able to still keep laughter coming around the city.
It's an honor to be picked out of 25 comics to perform here. It's weird. I haven't really processed all of it yet,
I did everything I could, from antagonizing audience members to attacking people in the parking lot.
I think the show tomorrow is going to be just a great time. Hopefully it doesn't feel like a funeral.
The Looney Bin is closing? Wait, are you serious?
Being selected to do this show is a huge honor. I'm very grateful.
I thought maybe after COVID, this place would finally die, but it didn't.
This is definitely an honor, for sure, to be in that group of comedians.
Like, this is such a big part of my life, and just to be involved in the last hurrah, it's a good feeling. I got on stage here for the first time 8 years ago, and I absolutely crushed it, of course, and have been crushing it ever since. So for them to ask me back was chef's kiss.
On one hand, I feel incredibly honored. I've been at a stand-up. I walked away several years ago. I did it well enough to make my mark to where they wanted to have me back. On the other hand, it makes me really horny.
But now we can say it's finally gone for good, and I'm happy.
Like working here, like I've had the best coworkers and the best boss I could ever ask for, and as a comedian I've made friends that are gonna last my whole lifetime. That's all like high school me ever really wanted.
It's an honor, you know, it's happy and sad. You know, the Looney Bin's been a good staple locally to help comics get stage time. It's an honor to be amongst the last few comedians selected to see this stage off.
It's weird. It's like the end of the school year or something, and like I know I'm not gonna go to college, so I'm a little bit sad.
Can I ask you something real quick? What are you guys all here to see tonight? We got some goose travelers.
I'm so grateful I don't like dick. I'm so grateful I don't like dick. Every Thanksgiving, around the table, what are you thankful for? Every year, I'm glad I don't like dick. And yeah, well, if I like dick, then you're gonna like find me in a back alleyway sucking on one for drugs, because now these are both things that I enjoy. It's a terrible sight. I just wouldn't want to be bad at it. That'd be the scariest thing. Being bad at sucking dick. Man, that's a nightmare. You've never seen sympathy on a drug dealer's face before. That is, you just don't see it. He's like, get the fuck out. It's just disgusted. Like, sorry. Did you come? Now you gotta know. Now you gotta go home knowing that you're a drug addict and bad at sucking dick. Like,
my wife, I've been with her for 15 years, and she, yeah, that's awesome. She deserves fucking tax write-off for that, right? She knows I have a stutter. She knows P's get me. Okay, so our kids are old enough now. We leave them home. We go out on dates. Well, other night she wanted to get frisky because school was out. So I get her drunk. No big deal, right? I get her home. Kids are at the parents' house because they wanted to go over there and stay the night. So we're home alone, and we're getting crazy. And she starts getting really verbal. So we're getting after it. It's gave her 3 kids. I've been up since 4 a.m., guys. This is all she's gonna be getting tonight, guys. Just mail it in. And so she just turns around. She says, "You want to pound that pussy?" What do you think I've been doing? I want you to say it. You want me to... You want me to... Quit laughing, I'm gonna get it. Glad the kids weren't there to hear her cry. From laughter.
By the way, guys, sorry if I'm a little fidgety tonight. I shaved my asshole this morning. And the 5 o'clock shower's just kicking in. I just got on antidepressants not too long ago. That's what depression sounds like. And I will say, like, if you are depressed, like, reach out to somebody, but reach out to somebody that actually help you. Because I reached out to my mom, and that was a big mistake. Because I told my mom all this stuff about, like, I needed a therapist, I wanted to get antidepressants, and you know what she says to me? Are you sure you just don't need a haircut? That's a weird thing to say to somebody you think might kill themselves. Yeah, you may die, but you know, great, hang in there.
Hello. I've been doing this a long time. People ask me how long. When I first started, Big's nickname was Slim. He gave me the light.
I've been with my wife for 7 years. It's been great. You know, they say you end up dating someone who reminds you of your parents. I'm just glad she's a better kisser than my dad. We would have had to have had a conversation. It's like, can you take out the teeth? I don't know. Yeah, I want to be a good dad. Like, I feel like I grew up with a good dad. I feel like he didn't make a whole lot of mistakes in life, although I will say the one mistake I feel like he truly made is he didn't take very good care of himself. He died relatively young. He was only 63 when he died. Yeah, so that was the only mistake. That and pawning my Nintendo 64 when I was a kid. Yeah, try to tell me we'd get it back in a couple of weeks. Now, I never saw that N64 again, but my father also never saw a 64, so I feel like I won.
But my most favorite open mic or local comedy moment was at the old club. And it was a guy, and he only showed up for like 3 or 4 open mics in a row, but one of them, he was bombing so hard, and the manager at the time had made a rule where you could boo the comedians off stage if they sucked. And this guy was doing so bad, and the crowd was booing him so bad, that at one point he stopped what he was doing and he started to sing the national anthem, like the most patriotic thing you could do. And everybody else was like, boo! Like they booed him harder when he got all patriotic. And I just thought, God, I love America.
Closed forever. Never again to sit through all of your terrible same jokes. Never to be open again, as a comedy club anyway. A chicken restaurant? Probably. Memories from the Looney Bin? I peed over there several times. I peed there. And I peed over there. I basically peed all over the city. Nothing comes to mind.
We had a host that fell during somebody's set and like broke her shoulder or something, so Biggs had to call me to come in and fill in, and that's not necessarily funny for the person that broke their shoulder, I guess, but it was definitely memorable and kind of funny at the time that that's just how I got the job, was somebody else's downfall, literally somebody else's downfall.
One day backstage, I was sitting with Biggs in his office, but I said something about the fact that because my name's Levi, when I was a kid, it was hard to find a keychain with my name on it. And when we'd go on family vacations, and I said that was probably the worst part of my childhood. And he's like, that was the worst part of your childhood?
Me and another comic, Tim Magger, used to do this thing called a switcheroo, where he had a kid that was also about my son's age, and we'd leave our kids in the car, and one person would stand outside and smoke cigarettes and watch the kids in the car play on their phones, and then do stage time, and then we'd switch, watch the other person's kids. And I did that for a long time until the Looney Bin finally got like Netflix up here and gave my kid an account.
I was on probation. I was about like 6 months sober, something like that. I went to my PO meeting, which is just down the street from here. So I'm walking to the bus station. Starts raining. So I was like, screw it, I'm going to see if anybody's at the Looney Bin. Biggs was here as well as Megan Welch, and they were kind of panicking because the headliner for the weekend had not showed up. And then they had me host, and Megan went to feature went to headliner, and it was my birthday weekend. It was just, I don't know, that was like just a personally good moment for me here.
Opening for amazing, great people. Like I never thought I would open for Skippy from Family Ties.
So then he calls in a comedian who was there that weekend, is like, Adam, tell Levi what the worst part of your childhood was. And Adam said something like when his stepdad or something threw him across the room and cracked his skull. And Biggs looked back at me and he's like, okay, tell him yours again.
There was a time where I did an anti-cop bit, and it turned out there were about a group of 30 in the audience that were all retired police and kids and wives of police. and they all got up and screamed at me and flipped me off, and I didn't get work at the Looney Bin for an entire year.
I went to see Ricky Smiley, and I got shit-faced drunk. I was heckling him, and went to the bathroom and ended up shitting on myself. And I hid the shitty drawers behind the toilet at the Looney Bin and went back out there and finished kicking it for the rest of the night. And my girl was like, "What happened to your drawers?" I was like, "Shut up."
And then for months, every comedian that came through the office, Biggs would ask them to tell me the worst thing that ever happened to them when they were a kid, and then made me tell them that I couldn't find a keychain on vacation.
Midnight Mike, like the second or third one that we did, a couple of lesbian people got very angry with Shane Lahari and tried to beat him up on stage, and I had to save his life. That was probably one of the crazier, more fun moments that's occurred.
Travis Cagle's birthday party, Midnight Mike, was... It got wild. It got unhinged. Megan smashed cake on the microphone stand. Jeremy was drunk rambling while she was cleaning it up.
There was a picture of Bill Cosby up on one of the walls. I made a joke about it on stage one night, and we got that thing to come down. I felt like I was tearing down a Civil War monument. Like, it felt really good.
And then one time, I was out of town. Biggs's car was in the shop, and I let him borrow my car while I was gone. And when I came back and he gave me my car back, he gave me a custom keychain he had made with my name on it. And it was very sweet, and I still have that to this day.
He is technically employed in here. Comedic, by video.
All the camp counselors together one last time.
Believe it or not, I'm half white. The other half is Arab, Jewish, and Mexican. But when people look at me, they just see that I'm hairy and annoying, so they go, "Oh, he's Italian." Too much hair. I look like a chimpanzee going through chemotherapy. I look like I grew up downwind from a Rogaine factory. I look like a werewolf during a waning gibbous. You can only half transform. You're just like, I'm good, I'm good.
I'm a pawpaw. There ain't no all. I don't feel like I'm pawpaw age. I used to get told I look like E40 when I started this shit. I'm losing my goddamn sight. My motherfucking hair. I used to like Gerald Levert. Now I get people tell me, "You look like Forrest Whitaker." Who the fuck? And then they know I look at them crazy. They be like, "Oh, he's handsome." Bitch, when the last time you seen Forrest Whitaker hanging up on somebody's wall? You ain't got no Forrest Whitaker picture on your wall, do you? Miss me with that shit.
I have not been on stage doing comedy for, God, it's been probably 4 or 5 years. That's been a long time. I used to work here. I used to sling drinks. I used to clean the condos. I'm going to miss the camaraderie of seeing people come in once a year, headliners, open micers. Our comedy scene here in Wichita is fucking amazing. I've been in several other comedy scenes. I've traveled all over the country doing comedy, and this scene is special. These comedians really care about each other, and they don't want to stab you in the back, which is too bad because that's really what I came here looking for tonight. To be honest, I almost didn't do it, but then I found out Travis Cagle was going to be here, and it might be my last chance to fuck him, so here I am, and keep feeding Travis drinks if you guys don't mind. That would be great.
You guys had to get the nachos one more time, you fuckers. Were they good? They were good. That's good. Nothing like fucking Looney Bin nachos in 110 day. You know what I'm saying? Was it 110 out? Let's go to the lake. Fuck that. Let's go get some nachos and quesadillas at the Looney Bin. You made it. Look at that. Give it up for all the fuckers you saw before. Listen here, this is what I love about comedy, and and I love about doing it on this stage. This is what I love, is like, It's comedy in the first 2 minutes, you know, because you don't know anybody, right? You didn't know me, lady, right? You come here, you don't know what to expect. You're not coming here to see Kevin Hart. You're coming here to see a bunch of fucking locals in Wichita. Hell yeah. Yeah. That's fucking right. You can hear us do comedy most any weekday at a bar or on a patio, just begging for someone to listen, you know? But you came and paid tonight, and that's special. That's what makes it special. I love it. You don't know me. You don't know me at all, right? We've never met, obviously.
Last night. Hell yeah. Glad you guys are here. Juggalos, though, they don't use Tinder. I found out they use their own thing. Have you guys heard about this? It's called inpatient rehab. They got another one, CSL plasma. If anybody wants to have sex later, I got one condition. Hear me out. You have to be less than 400 pounds. Now, I'm not weight shaming. I'm not. It's just my air mattress can only hold like 550, so.
Everyone in the comedy community has one common interest, and that is making other people laugh. And it really brings all kinds of people together that maybe shouldn't ever have gotten together. Or maybe it's all the misfits from all the high schools in all the world somehow come together in a comedy club.
Like the show takes care of itself. Those flow on. Comics are professional. They know how to handle audiences. We do the jokes and we do our time. And then afterwards, we get to go up front to the bar and just hang out and talk. You know, not just talk about comedy. You talk about life. How's your dog? How is your family?
Comedians are some of the nicest people in the world if you can get past their bitter personalities.
How am I going to prepare for this show? The last show at the Looney Bin? I'm not doing shit. The Looney Bin used to mean a lot to me. But now, it's just another club that won't book me.
You know, I did my first open mic here. I've got to host here. I'm on the last show here, which is wild for me because I've only been doing this for a little over a year.
I got to mature not only as a person, but as a comic, obviously, and spend a lot of my weekends here watching some of my friends do really well and do really poorly, and do really well myself and really poorly myself, but it meant everything.
Most of the local comics ended up being some of my favorite comics just because there was that challenge and support. A great way to start.
It's a big deal for every comic to go up for their first time, and I did that at a Wednesday night open mic that was completely sold out. I didn't even think I was going to get on the show because there were so many comics, and it just gave me the confidence to keep going, and it gave me a place to sort of rally around that energy of like, I want to do this, and there are other people who are doing it, and they're encouraging, and it was a great place, a good hang, and I made, friends for the first time in 15 years. So it was an exciting change of life, and it's led to a complete change of life as I'm doing comedy full time now.
I'm originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and there's another Looney Bin there. And I moved up here about 9 years ago, and I literally only knew Wiz and Biggs. This was kind of like a sense of something familiar for me, something that I left behind, and it really just turned into a place where I met all the people in Wichita I love, and it introduced me to all my friends, a couple enemies, a guy named Shane that I'm kind of indifferent on.
Dave Grabenik, I always love hanging out with him, and I definitely always end up sitting at the bar with him for at least an hour drinking, just running jokes by each other. And that's one thing I'm really going to miss, is doing that with him.
Well, it's like the hometown club. Once this is gone, you don't have a hometown club anymore. You'll just have several bars that do open mics and stuff. So,
well, personally, it's just it's my home away from home. It's where I can go, and if I'm having a bad day or something, or in a fight with my wife, I can go up here, drink a couple drinks, and I feel a lot better and get to watch some comedy for free, which is awesome. And it's also where I took my wife for our first date, so that was pretty cool.
It's where I started working professionally. You know, like I said, a place where my kid grew up. It's a place where I cut my teeth doing comedy. I met a lot of comics that I'm still friends with today from other states and stuff. It's a professional club, and those are dying across the country, you know. So it's going to be weird not having a professional room. Bar shows are fun. I love them. I cut my teeth in bar shows too, but it's going to be weird not having this stage anymore.
It's like a home away from home, you know? Like, yeah, we've got open mics at like little bars, dive bars, just everywhere around town, but the Looney Bin is the one place everybody'd come together. You good set, bad set, everybody had a great time. It's sad to lose it.
Excuse me, sir. You're the youth pastor, right?
Yes. We should start the sermon in about 20 minutes.
Are you getting baptized tonight?
Yes.
You know, that's up to him.
I'm actually the priest of the Juggalo Church, so.
I gotta say,
They baptize in Fago.
You know, I got a daughter, yeah, I fuck. Couple times, I got 2, I can prove it. But we watch Dr. Phil in our house, and we don't watch it because we have kids, you know, and the ones about shitty kids hits too close to home. She called me a crumb bum in front of company, I'm just saying. That's heel behavior. But, oh my God, she's scared to sleep in her room. She's almost 8, terrified to sleep in her room. We live in the country. We have coyotes out there. I'm like, you know, we're in a house. They're not going to do anything. Says, well, they're really loud. It's scary. So I tell her, you know, I'll sleep in there with you. You know, I'll make you feel safe. Nothing's going to get you. Daddy's here. So she goes to sleep, and I'm laying there, and I hear yip, 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 yip in the background. You know, it's kind of creepy, but like, we're in a house. What are they going to do? A couple minutes later, yip, 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 really loud. It's like, oh, that's kind of spooky, but like, it's a fucking house. A couple minutes later, we're going to fucking kill you and your family. It's like, oh my God. Those are some scary coyotes. True story.
And we had taken a trip because I was applying for a job, and I didn't get it, don't worry. I was applying for a job, and they made me take a drug test, take a urine test. You've taken these before, right? There's nothing more demeaning than having to pee into a cup and like give it to like a perfect stranger, right? Well, I guess there's one thing more demeaning. If instead it was pee, they made you like, if they were like, scat into this cup. Like, all right, if you say so. I'm like, there you go, man. He takes it, he's like, you are definitely on drugs, for sure. Yeah.
Fine. I want to talk about the Klan. Ooh. You don't say that very loud in Kansas. Or I was like, not me! Nuh-uh! That was my daddy, that ain't me! It's close enough. Think about that. I was watching a documentary, and I think the thing is like they're this hate-filled group, and it's horrible, but they have like really ridiculous names for everyone. It's like a 6-year-old came up with it. It's like, when I get to be the boss of the racist, I want you to call me the Grand Dragon. Well, I want to be the Exalted Cyclops. Well, I'm Ronald Reagan.
My vision isn't what it used to be. I don't read things as well as I did. Like, I have to do kind of a double take. I misread shit a lot. So, like, I'll give you an example. I'm on the west side of town a couple weeks ago. We're driving by this building. It's a new restaurant. I'm pretty excited about it. Go figure. Pretty excited about it. Not something we have a lot of in Wichita. It's a chicken place. It's a place called Sticky Bird is what they're opening up. And so they've got this banner out front saying, what's coming soon? And then the slogan underneath, which I misread. So we're driving, and I'm like, did that shit just say home of abduction chicken? Like, just not too long ago, I remember we were all about free range and cage free, and now it's like, I don't want that chicken unless it's been blindfolded, beaten, and waterboarded. One thing that I have learned as I get older, that it's easier to just kind of accept things, accept that things are not going to change, things are the way that they are. Most notably for me recently is I've had to accept that masturbation wasn't just a phase I was going through. To be honest with you, it's kind of a load off my mind. I mean, from puberty until very recently, I assumed eventually this nonsense is something I'd grow out of. Problem with that is I'm just so goddamn good at it. And I don't know how that happened. It just came natural. I'm like a stroking savant, really. I'm like Rain Man, if rain was gooey. And I haven't even toned down on how much I do it, really. I'm not bragging here, but I'm still putting up like high school numbers. You give me the house to myself, after an hour, nothing comes out but a puff of air. Just
I think my favorite story involved a comedian. We told him that the building is haunted and there was a ghost in the building, right? Comics stay here in the building, so we don't have to get hotels every week. He's over there by himself. This is a Saturday night. Sunday morning at 6 a.m, he calls me. He's at the Quick Trip around the corner in his underwear, getting dressed at the pump, getting gas, in a frantic. Oh my God, Wiz, the ghost messed with me, man. He was shaking the bed, and then like 5 minutes later, he shook the bed again. I was so scared, I just threw my stuff in my bag and I left. And the reason why I was able to answer that phone call at 6 a.m. is because we had just had an earthquake. And 5 minutes later, an aftershock. And he didn't know we had earthquakes in Kansas. So he had no idea it was an earthquake. He thought it was the actual ghost messing with him. Like, I still to this day, every time I see him, I mention that.
Love, friendship, camaraderie amongst comedians. I don't know anything about that. I hate everybody in there and everyone on this tape. I'm only here because I skated out of the sit-down interview. Now I gotta do the segment intros? I'm not getting paid for this.
I am.
Good. You ought to be.
I see the comedy community, like all the guys especially, as my kids. Like, I just love them all and I want the best for them.
Ever since that we've heard that this place was closing, a lot of people have started to pick up and try to put other shows together to keep local comedy going here.
I've always had good friends, but never a thing that was my own, up until I got on that stage for the first time. And I've met all these wonderful friends who, support me and are there to make fun of me and my failures and laugh along at my jokes when I write something new.
Comics are all cool to comics, and like, they're all tight. Even though we have different styles and different taste in jokes, we all still support and respect each other. And I think you don't find that in a lot of other fields, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it's actually really funny, like hanging out with a comedian outside of hanging out with more comedians, because we just walking around the mall or wherever we are, just like trying to make each other laugh. And sometimes we embarrass ourselves, sometimes we make other people laugh, and it's just, we're truly a family because it's always fun. It's never not.
I hate them all. Every last one of them.
Waiting for our turn, working out bits, accidentally working it out with other people.
But a lot of these guys are a lot younger than me, so I kind of feel like the cool uncle, cool older brother.
We're all comrades here. Russians, undercover.
No, and the nice thing, it is one of those things. It is like a clique, it's a group, and that, you all have a common interest, which is why I brought my son tonight. I wanted him to see how it works and how everybody hangs out and gets together and just chats and stuff. It's a nice club.
I did my first open mic here at the Looney Bin, and I came into it kind of almost feeling defensive, like, oh hell, first day of high school again. You're the new kid. Everybody's gonna pick on you, and they couldn't have been more welcoming and just absolutely wonderful and inviting, and they put me at ease right away.
There's a real nice camaraderie amongst our group. We all want to see each other succeed and do well, so we help each other out with, thinking of jokes or ways to make jokes funnier or longer or better.
Now I'm meeting all these young guys that I'm learning a lot of crazy stuff about different weird stuff that they're into. So
do so many open mics and shows with so many of your good friends gives you a lot of opportunity for them to give you exactly what they think about your jokes, whether you're being hacky, too wordy. Dan the Man, I used to have a joke about my dad being really old, and I called him, he was in his 60s when he died, but I called him like a pseudo-sectogenarian because he was so old. And he's like, dude, nobody knows what sectogenarian means.
It's like anything else. Everybody still gossips about one another, but when push comes to shove, everybody's got each other's back. Everybody supports one another.
I've been to several clubs and performed on several stages, and it just seems like our community cares about one another. They want everybody to do good. There's nobody out, trying to stab you in the back. And the few that have come in and tried stuff like that, they get, weeded out pretty quick.
Most people are cool that do comedy, and I don't know. That's my favorite part about it. That's why I do it, to hang out with comics.
Being able to hang out with your friends, just if you eat, can you swear? All right. Well, eat shit, have a good show. It's just at least one person's going to love it. It's pretty great.
I've seen plenty of comedians that have gone on to do much bigger and better things, and I've got to hang out with some of these guys after shows. Comedy community is amazing. We all love each other. The Looney Bin's very special to me.
Since I started doing comedy, I've completely gone into financial ruin. I've developed a drinking problem just like everybody else, and we all have trauma bonding together because we're broke and we have this stupid ass dream that's probably never going to happen if we really think about it. We're like this weird group of people that's almost an outcast in society, and we've just become so strongly bonded together that some of the best people I've ever met are in comedy. They're amazing human beings. They have nothing to offer other than just their friendship, and it's the greatest type of camaraderie and friendship there is that I've ever been in any part of a community.
You got to have thick skin because comedians are all going to be mean to you. That's just part of being a comedian, is picking on each other and being mean and joking about bombing on stage and how bad you are at comedy. But it's usually all in good fun, unless you are bad at comedy, like Shane or someone. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I don't like any of these motherfuckers. Do you want a more sincere answer than that, or? No, I've made a lot of friends here in Wichita. And I wouldn't trade them for any friends in any other Kansas city.
Who are you here to see tonight?
Oh, I'm here to see it. You wouldn't know him. He's a little guy. He plays basketball a lot. Very funny though, so keep an eye out for him. It's like Trevor or something like that. I can't ever remember his name. He's great.
Great, thank you. Have a good night, sir.
I was driving in a car one time because fuck it, that's what you do, right? Okay, cool. This whole thing was hinging on you saying yes. The whole joke almost got fucked up. If you would have said no, I would have been like, what the fuck do you do in a car? I was driving in a car and I saw a speed limit sign, had extra words on it, totally fucked me up because I'm not good at reading. My daughter has these books that's 5-minute story time, takes me about 8. Yeah. Speed limit sign, extra words, all up there. Said, drive 25, save a kid's life. I don't want to be the bad guy here. But 25 is still gonna fuck that kid up. I'm not saying I want it to happen. I'm just saying, maybe don't put so many words on signs.
I knew I was funny, Bill, because I slap my girl ass all the time, and she tried to slap mine and miss because I got a king of the hill booty. I be sitting on my spinal cord. My shit is incaved. They're talking about fusing my lower lumbar right now because I'll be sitting on that motherfucker so much. I was like, yeah, baby, I ain't got no ass. I'm a boy. She was like, well, you got titties and you a boy. I was like, bitch, now you a comedian? I hate you. The other night, I think she fucked me. Because she was on top riding me, and then she grabbed my titties and choked me. I was like, bitch, unhand me. The fuck just happened here? She said, hey, don't you ever do that bullshit again. I am a boy, Damon.
My original plan when I moved to LA was to live in my car for a couple weeks to just kind of, check out the lay of the land, see where I wanted to be. And then I had diarrhea far too often to make that a plan, right? So I had to move into a shitty apartment. I got an apartment, and it was very sparsely decorated. It was cold as fuck. I was like, I need to buy a blanket. My wife was like, go buy a weighted blanket. You have anxiety, it'll help with it. Does anybody here have a weighted blanket? Okay, yeah. It just feels like you're just getting smothered all night long. It's fucking awesome. So I bought a weighted blanket, and it was a weird way for me to find out that I'm a back sleeper. I sleep on my back. So now every morning that I wake up with a boner, my dick is just lifting weights until I pee the first time. But it's like the only part of me that works out, So like my dick has abs now. It's kind of weird. Like it's roid rage, It's like, come on, let's fucking watch UFC. Like, Jesus, bro. Where'd you get these tap-out condoms? Every once in a while, it's like, fucking beat me. I'm like, I like that part. That's good. Just fucking beat him. He throws up a little protein shake. It's good.
I had an interesting upbringing. We didn't, swear a lot at home. And we did a little. We weren't nerds. But my mom didn't swear except occasionally. She would say a swear word. It would slip out, like when she stubbed her toe or something. But then she would say the non-swear version of that word over and over and over again to try to trick us into thinking she didn't say it. So I'll give you an example. It would be like, damn it, dang 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 it. And we were just like, Mom, we heard what you said. And she's like, I just said dang it. And we're like, do you think that we hear slower than you speak? Because we heard it. And she was like, I just said dang it. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to test this theory out. So the next time she got upset with me and said, go clean your room, I just said, screw you. Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. And I like to think my mom learned a lesson that night, I know I certainly learned a lesson that night.
I had a girl get mad at me because I thanked her after she blew me. Right? I didn't see the problem with it. I was like, you did a great thing. Thank you. She's like, I'm not offering a fucking service or anything. It's all right. That was funny. I want to see having sex in the condo. Yep. I have arachnophobia. It's pretty serious. I'm super scared of Iraq. I need to work out, but I'm lazy. I think about going to the gym the same way I think about suicide. I'm like, I'll do it tomorrow.
I also just wanted to say a very special thank you to all the Looney Bin staff for getting me drunk all those years and bringing me waters to the others. For all of the comedians that I've gotten to perform with, as well as for Biggs and Wiz for running a fantastic club. We'll miss it, but we'll be back.
Biggs, thank you. Everybody on the staff, thank you for dealing with me and some of my idiot friends over the years. I thank you.
I love this place, and I'm going to miss it dearly.
Thanks to Biggs for being awesome and booking me and giving me encouragement and helping me with jokes and stuff. I'm super grateful for this place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for all the great years. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
I'll say it tomorrow night.
The Looney Bin's always been the one constant thing in my life for the last 23 years. And I just want to say thank you for all the memories. It was awesome.
Thanks to Biggs. He's been kind of a curmudgeon, but always like a real fun uncle type. He's always been super nice and gave me my first starts. I probably didn't deserve it, but he gave me my shot.
Thanks for all the fish.
I appreciate the opportunity I gave people in the city who thought they was funny, a stage to at least try to chase their dreams.
To all the staff, you're amazing. I worked here for about 4 years, slinging drinks, telling jokes. I've been on all the Looney Bin stages. It's going to be a really sad thing not to be able to go out and hit every club.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for keeping this place afloat for so long.
Thanks for all the memories. It was a good time. And tomorrow I'll be smiling because it happened, not upset because it's going away.
We'll miss you. We hope to see you again someday. Just take care.
Thanks for the memories. It's been a really great 11 months.
Yeah, Looney Bin, I'm going to miss you. Son of a bitch. People move on. Companies move on. But feelings, they last a lifetime.
Thank you. Thank you for 17 years of comedy.
Thanks for helping me live out my dream.
I want to thank Biggs. I want to thank Wiz and all the wait staff, everybody who's come through these doors. I mean, just this was a great thing that we got to do.
Farewell, man. It was a fun few years here. We didn't even get to really break it in.
I really do love the Looney Bin and everybody that's here, all the staff.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for giving me an opportunity.
I'm going to miss the hell out of you guys. All of the clubs, I miss them already. I'm going to miss the guaranteed paycheck once a year. I'm going to miss all of the managers and all of the friends and all of the drunken girls who like to blow dudes in their car.
This is the part where we're gonna cry. Well, I'm gonna cry. I don't give a fuck what you guys do. First off, the staff, just give it up for all those people. I don't really do anything here. They do all the work, and they're the most important people in the building. And then the second most important people in the building are you guys. I know not all of our audiences are here, but you guys are representing all of them, so please give it up for yourself.
I think there's going to be some teary eyes quite often throughout this show. Could it get rowdy? Only if Felix takes his pants off.
This was where I started as a comedian, where I grew up in comedy, where I met so many friends, and like I have social media. There's like maybe 5-10 family members, like some people that I went to school with, and then the rest is like 1,000 comedians that I met while I was here the 23 years.
It means a lot to a lot of people, not just the audience, not just the staff, not just the owners or whatever. There's a community of very funny people that something like this closing affects greatly. And without it, they don't have a place to congregate. I mean, in a lot of ways, this place is like a church.
Tonight, the last local show, there are 25 comics going up. We had our last open mic a week ago, and there was a whole different 20 comics. So the comedy community here in Wichita is very big and thriving, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to die, not just because the Looney Bin is closing.